President Trump moves forward with airstrikes despite Iran's warnings, targeting a strategically vital island in the Gulf. The US confirms strikes on Kharg Island, a critical Iranian oil hub, with Trump outlining the reasons behind the decision. Reports suggest the strikes spared Iran's main oil facilities, focusing instead on defense assets stationed at Kharg. Analysts say Iran's Revolutionary Guard warning over oil routes may have influenced Washington's limited strike strategy. On March 13, Donald Trump declared that US airstrikes had completely destroyed multiple Iranian military sites on Kharg Island, describing the operation as a powerful show of American strength in the region. Posting on Truth Social, Trump clarified that the air assault targeted only Iran's military infrastructure and avoided striking any of the country's vital oil facilities to prevent escalation in energy markets. He further claimed that American forces had, in his words, totally obliterated every military target on Kharg Island, framing the action as a complete and precise mission against Iran's armed presence. Trump referred to Kharg Island as Iran's crown jewel, emphasizing its enormous strategic importance as both a defense stronghold and a central hub in Iran's export operations. The island is crucial to Iran's economy, handling around 90% of its oil exports, and had until now remained untouched by US or Israeli action despite years of tension in the Gulf. Tehran has long warned that any strike on its energy infrastructure would trigger retaliatory attacks on American oil assets, a threat that continues to heighten concerns about broader regional conflict. US President Donald Trump on Truth Social said, and I quote, "Moments ago, at my direction, the United States Central Command executed one of the most powerful bombing raids in the history of the Middle East and totally obliterated every military target in Iran's crown jewel, Kharg Island. Our weapons are the most powerful and sophisticated that the world has ever known, but, for reasons of decency, I have chosen not to wipe out the oil infrastructure on the island. However, should Iran, or anyone else, do anything to interfere with the free and safe passage of ships through the Strait of Hormuz, I will immediately reconsider this decision. Iran has no ability to defend anything that we want to attack. There is nothing they can do about it. Iran will never have a nuclear weapon, nor will it have the ability to threaten the US, Middle East or, for that matter, the world. Iran's military, and all others involved with this terrorist regime, will be wise to lay down their arms and save what's left of their country, which isn't much." Iranian state media later reported that none of the island's vital oil installations were damaged in the US strikes, suggesting that the assault was limited strictly to military targets. In follow-up remarks, Trump cautioned that any Iranian attempt to disrupt shipping or interfere in the Strait of Hormuz would lead to immediate and forceful retaliation from US forces. Reports have since emerged of multiple oil tankers being attacked by Iranian forces in the Strait of Hormuz, heightening fears of an escalating confrontation in one of the world's most critical shipping lanes. Between March the 11th and 12th, at least 6 commercial vessels were struck or shadowed in coordinated attacks across the Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz, according to regional security officials. Iran's newly appointed supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, declared that Tehran would keep using control of the Strait of Hormuz as political and economic leverage against Western powers. His comments coincided with a sharp global market reaction. Stocks fell across major exchanges as oil prices surged past $100 per barrel for the first time in months, reflecting fresh geopolitical anxiety. Kharg Island serves as the heart of Iran's oil export operations in the Persian Gulf, acting as the country's most important gateway for crude shipments to global markets. Almost all of Iran's key oil export facilities, including pipelines, storage tanks, and loading terminals, are clustered on Kharg Island, underscoring its immense logistical and economic significance. But the same strategic importance that gives Kharg its power also exposes Iran to great risk. Any disruption or attack that could instantly cripple Tehran's ability to sell oil abroad. Kharg Island serves as Iran's main oil export hub, handling the majority of the country's crude shipments. The island hosts nearly all of Iran's export infrastructure, including pipelines, storage tanks, and loading terminals. Pipelines from major oil fields feed directly into Kharg, making it the final link in Iran's energy supply chain. Deep water terminals on the island allow supertankers to load crude, enabling exports even under sanctions. Kharg generates the bulk of state revenue, funding government operations, security forces, and social programs. Any disruption to Kharg's operations could cripple Iran's economy, choke revenue, and weaken the regime's grip on power. According to NBC News, Donald Trump had earlier explored the possibility of sending a small, specialized US ground force into Iran, marking a significant shift from an air-only strategy. Multiple American officials confirmed to NBC that Trump had expressed interest in deploying a limited number of troops, focused not on invasion, but on targeted strategic objectives. These internal deliberations reportedly centered around deploying elite special units designed to execute precise missions on Iranian soil, rather than launching a full-scale ground campaign. Reports suggest that Trump's broader vision included securing access to Iran's uranium reserves and fostering potential cooperation around future oil production, tying military strategy to economic goals. Analysts speaking to the Washington Post indicated that one possible target of these plans might be Kharg Island, a small but crucial oil terminal off Iran's southern coastline. Experts say that if the US succeeded in gaining control of Kharg Island, it could gain powerful leverage over Tehran by essentially controlling the flow of its most vital export. They added that such a loss would cut deeply into Iran's primary revenue stream, significantly limiting the government's capacity to sustain and fund ongoing military operations. In response to these reports, Iran's parliament speaker delivered a sharp warning to both Washington and Tel Aviv, cautioning them against any form of ground operation or invasion. Speaker Mohammad Bagher Kalibaf issued a fierce statement declaring that if any invasion were attempted, Iran would turn the Persian Gulf into, quote, a sea of blood for the attackers. According to reports, Kalibaf posted the warning on X on March 12, specifically addressing the threat of possible US or Israeli strikes against Iran's strategically sensitive islands.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.